Sy van Vogel and Winelands van Zyl. We've met the first time when Jessica came in there and said she just wanted to introduce me to this partnership of Partners for Possibilities, which I did not even know what it's all about. So it was a learning curve process for me as well, and I didn't know, and she just said, okay, let's see how it goes. Winelands, you want to say something here?
Ek sal vinnig iets sê en dan sal ek stil bly. Yeah, Jessica came to me first and I said I'll be interested in taking part in this thing. And when she asked which school do you want to get involved with, I said there's two that comes to mind. One is a school that our cycling club cycles past on a regular basis, and the other one, unfortunately, was a school where a colleague of mine who died on the job electrocuted himself some years back. And his children were in the school, and I said, I sort of still feel a little bit responsible for them, so it'll be nice to get involved with the school and just actually make sure that they're still okay. So that's why Jessica, Zay knew, I think, when Jessica came there. Then we've had an interesting year. I mean, I attended is it the SGB meeting or senior management team or whatever,
no, SGB.
And they promptly chucked me out. I don't trust this guy. So
yes.
So to paraphrase, somebody said, "Is this the end or maybe the beginning?" I think
in our case,
Winston Churchill, a long time ago, after the Battle of Britain, said, "This is not the end, nor even the beginning of the end. It's maybe the end of the beginning." So,
yeah.
over to you.
Okay. Just this small or short community context. Temperance Town serves the communities from Castro, Casablanca, Luandle, Nomzamo, Zola, Broadlands Park, and Vlakteplaas. Now, Temperance Town is situated in Gordons Bay, but all these other places mentioned, or as you can read on there, is situated in the Strand, Somerset area, what they call the informal settlements of those in Somerset West and in Strand. So most of our learners, about 88% of our learners, come from Castro, Casablanca, Luandle, as I mentioned now, and only about 12% come from Temperance Town itself. So we are a quintile 4 school serving communities from low socioeconomic background, and all our principals know that a quintile 4 is seen as a rich school, which we are not, because we are situated in Gordons Bay and we are perceived as a rich school. The school is originally built to accommodate about 300 maximum learners. It was built with only 7 classes, ablution facilities to accommodate about 300 learners, ablution facilities to accommodate about 7-8 educators. But the current learner total is about 991 learners, with 23 educators, including myself as a principal, 3 grade R teachers, 3 general workers, 1 administrative clerk, and 2 kitchen staff. This learner total of 991 is very problematic, especially because of the ablution facilities, and we try to overcome that by having at least 2 intervals. In other words, we have the foundation phase, having an interval at one time, and then the interset phase having the interval at another time, so that there is not a big influx to use about 6 toilets for the girls and about 3 to 4 for the boys. So that is, we've spoke to the department, and they don't really see that there's going to be a solution to that very soon. The playground is also too small for the amount of learners, and we try to solve this by having 2 separate intervals, as I just said now. Also, our school is built on an incline at the foot of the Helderberg Mountain, so it's built on an incline. So the learners running, and it's a very dangerous playground for the learners, so we need to cordon off where the learners could play, where they must play or where they should not play, just to minimize incidents which could bring us into trouble. Temperance Town community is a very close-knit community. So Temperance Town community itself is a very small community. This estate here is about 4 times bigger than Temperance Town itself. So the people know, everybody knows everybody's business, and most of our parents of our current learners attended Temperance Town Primary School, and that is a bit difficult for them, and that is where parental involvement comes in, and maybe the input they have at our school is because they tend to think that when they were at the school, it was a much smaller school. The teacher could give more individual attention to them because it was smaller classes. The teacher had a one-on-one relationship with them. It was only learners from Temperance Town. There was no other learners from other communities there. So everybody remained in that community. So it's a bit difficult for them to grasp that people are being taxied in. Children are being taxied in. They complain, but the taxis are the whole place full. They are running in our streets. They are messing in our streets, and so on. But if you know the background of the Helderberg Basin, there is too few schools for too many learners. So hence the reason those learners flow over to our school. So they don't understand that there is they don't get that individual attention as such, and there's many parents from Temperance Town itself coming and say, but you know, why this, why that, and so forth. We had so many things happening about 20 years ago. Why is that not happening now? Then I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to my participants. It was a very nice experience, meeting all of you, sharing time with you, learning from you most of all. To Jessica, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be part of this. To Jamie, my administrative assistant, who assisted me so much when I was most of the time here and she had to take over there at school. To my partner, my business partner, thank you, Wineland. Wineland assisted me a lot, a very worldly knowledge. I was so into my zone, I need to do this, I need to do that, and so forth. And he just said, relax, you know, relax. There's time and a place for everything. You need to take a step back in order to see what is happening there. You can't be in there. Take a step back. So thank you, Wineland, for that, as well as for being my sponsor. I really do appreciate you giving me or affording me this opportunity to be part of this program. I've learned I've learned a lot. And much of my experiences, which I've picked up here, I can share with my learners, my parents, my community, as well as to my colleagues, which was very important to me, especially as a newly appointed principal at a school coming from the outside in. That was, there's a lot of things that I learned here, which I could bring back to my staff at school. Then some success stories. I enjoyed the presentation of the learner this afternoon because it reminded me so much of how our learners participated for the very first time in the ISTETFIT, and they were remarkable. They got this gold plus and silver plus, and it was just something very nice for me to see that our learners participated for the first time in ISTETFIT, and the teachers being willing to train them to do that. And then also last year, for the first time, we thought to focus on the learners and how can we bring them up, how can we show the parents that our learners really shine. And we took the holistic approach. We tried to give everyone an opportunity. For those that is performing well, we will allow them the opportunity to perform well. So this is a spelling competition where our very brilliant learners, they participated in this, and they did also well there. They performed from school, from the areas, within the areas, they went up until district level, which was something very nice for us because it was just the first time participating. Then also we have fundraisers, and this was our very first big fundraiser at the beginning of last year, the Marine Day fundraising. It was very well supported, especially from communities where we really get any school funds, and our school fees is about 300 Rand a year, and parents actually supported that very well. But it was all because of motivation and, you know, external forces. You know, we will give you this if you participate, which was also another thing. Was very nice that the staff came together also. That was the first time that we could be together as a staff, mingling with the new principal, seeing the principal on a different level, so that was very great for us. Mr. Matawani, we made a profit of about 56,000 rand for that. Yes, and then also we had Entrepreneurs Day for our grade 7s, where they had the market day, and they had to, as part of a project of the EMS, they had to sell goods, and that also went very well. But we also chipped in and said, okay, let's make two things. It's all about generating money. While you are selling, we will celebrate Heritage Day, hence the reason. So the school also makes money, and the money the grade 7s made from that fundraiser went to the grade 7 farewell, the promo, they call it a mini matric. Yes, here is it, the teacher. This is for me a very good success story, because remember, it's very difficult when you come in as a new principal to a new school. There's a clash in personalities and things like that. And by stepping back, Wynand, I realized that we need to build relationships. And then we participated in the SPA ladies race, because most of us are ladies. On the staff, I have about 4 or 5 gentlemen. So, and you know how ladies are. So we decided to participate in events like that. We had were at the SPA ladies race. We had a breakfast one day, and then we celebrated a slipper day. I think you know that slipper day thing. So then we just went out for that day as well. Then our learners, I say once again, we taking the holistic approach. We had those other learners attending or participate the WOW competition. So we tried to, on the right, you will see that's our hockey team. That's the first time we have a hockey team. That's our under 10 young ladies participating there. We asked some of the businesses in the community to sponsor those dresses for the girls. And the sticks, we still, you know, those sticks are quite expensive, so some of the teachers just brought their own stuff so that the kids can play with that. And this is actually a netball and a rugby school. Even since when I came there, they were already very good with netball and rugby. And then also at the bottom left, you will see that's our pom-pom girls, or onze trompoppies. And that was part of a community event which we held in September this year. And that was the first time as well where our school and the community had a community festival, also in order to build the community relationships, to make it better. Because as I said in the beginning, the community of Temperance Town perceived the school different as when it was. So that was us also reaching out to the community in supporting the event. Yeah, then also we have a reading week where our learners were participating in the reading marathon, where they read for about 6 hours continuously. Every learner reading 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, somebody else will come in and just read further on. That is also one of our external sponsors, Lions Club, and they sponsored the library, and then they have their tannies coming in and support our learners to read, and so on. So they participated in that. And then also, because our school is situated, it's beautiful grounds and everything, but there's a lot of work on there concerning plants and so on. We even had an eco garden, but you know, with water restrictions, it really went down. But this was at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, where we just had a clean up, because we've realized that what's happening in the community is because the trees are so high. Over the weekends, community members will come in and do whatever is not supposed to be done within those bushes and so forth. So we decided to just one day call in national parks, and then they came in and assisted us with breaking or chopping down the trees and so on. So our learners were also part of that. Then we get to the work of progress, and this is going to take Wynand and myself quite some time to do, but we've got a plan. So we have the building of the school hall, You see, it's very difficult to just do that in 1 year, so we have some time to do that. We need to identify some space on the school, and then from there take it as to where to put, or to, some of the logistics need to be sorted out from there. Then upgrading of the school sport field. Because parents of Temperance Town again also said, but our learners have to go now because we had to be innovative once again. As I've explained in my first slide, that most of our learners come from this Gastro Strand area. They were taxied in, and at a certain time, as soon as the school dismissed, then the taxis are there to transport them home. So for us to practice our sports, it's very difficult. So we now decided as a staff that we will have use the Gastro sports field and practice with our learners on that side and train them there, other than do that at school, because nobody's going to stay after school. But Temperance Town parents said, but we taking that away from them. Even when we said we will transport them till the field and back, there was still some unhappiness around that point. So we decided to upgrade the sports field, but that is also work in progress, you know, with the water restrictions as well. And in order to build relationships with our parents, with our teachers, we decided also to empower them, to have workshops with them, leadership workshops, project management, time management, and just being able to run their own little projects within the school. So that is our work in progress, which will continue during 2018, maybe 2019, especially with the school hall. Then appreciation. Thank you again, Winelands. Like I said in the previous slide, into the learning community, which is you. I've learned so much from you. And then Mr. Matawani also mentioned the presenters, because they were very excellent, focused, and you knew exactly when you came to the session what was the outcome. You knew where you had to focus, what you need to do, and that was very, for me, especially empowering. And I could take whatever I've learned, presented to me, I could take that and take it back into my school community, as well with the teachers and the parents. Sometimes a bit difficult, but yes, it could all happen there. Then to some special people, also not here is my SGB, that although they were very nasty to Winelands, I'm going to explain now why they were so nasty to Winelands. To my SGB, my SMT, my educators, most of the time I had to leave a bit earlier, my administrative staff at school, and then my own family. So sometimes I will come home, especially after a session or a 2-day session, then you don't really feel like still to do wifely duties and motherly duties and so forth. So I want to thank those special people as well for allowing me this opportunity to come here and to learn some more. Oh, the reason why they were so nasty with Winelands was that Winelands came into the meeting at a time when there was already some disagreement about who needs to attend and who doesn't need to attend. So they were actually, Winelands came into a shortlisting process, and they were already disappointed, or they were, how is there a WC representative? They were not informed, and so on and so on. So I said, you don't need to be informed that there must be a WCED representative. They must be there. You see, it's a promotional post, so they must be there, and so on. And at that moment, Winelands stepped in, and so they said, wow, another new face, here we draw the line. So hence the reason you were, maybe they were a bit nasty with you, but thank you, that is our story.